And now let's go back to Tianjin, where we have Gaurav Sawant there. Gaurav, talking about trade, keeping the military aside, how important is it for India and China to come together? Prime Minister Xi Jinping himself says that the dragon and the elephant must come together. Now, both these animals, or rather, dragon is more like a mythical creature. Both these creatures are extremely strong creatures. So the reference to these creatures and the talk of bringing them together, how important it is.
So two things. One, dragon is a metaphor, as you rightly pointed out, but a dragon is also, in somebody's imagination. The elephant is real. Of course, our national animal is the tiger, and India is roaring like the tiger. India is that beast. We're not that harmless elephant. We are intelligent like the elephant, but we're also roaring like the tiger as a nation. Look at the way our economy is rising. The world's fastest growing large economy. When America calls us a dead economy, we rise at 7.8% this fiscal, and this is better than what most people had even anticipated, which means we are doing well. The aim is to do even better. You've had tailwinds, but when you face headwinds, you should be able to withstand that situation. And the headwinds, if it comes from America, tailwinds should come from China. Tailwinds are anyway coming from Japan. The Prime Minister had a very successful visit to Japan. The economic cooperation, military cooperation, scientific cooperation with Japan is something that hasn't been highlighted enough, except of course by us here at India Today, because India-Japan relationship will be the defining partnership of Asia. But when you have very powerful economies like India, China, Japan, if they are operating in tandem, then you can withstand bullying by the United States even better. That's point one. Point two, India-China outreach began way before the Trump tariffs kicked in. So this thaw in the relationship is not a post-Trump phenomenon, as some in the West are trying to portray it to be. Remember Kazan, I was reporting from Kazan on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Russia. That's when China and India, President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi had met, and they decided that they'd given the strategic direction for disengagement at the borders and for the relationship to resume. Wang Yi's visit to India, very important, because that visit and his interaction with the NSA Doval was the way that the boundary issue would be addressed. So that settled, or that movement forward movement there will then decide how trade moves forward. India is a huge market. China needs that. China is a huge market. India wants greater access, which has been denied to us. So if China wants more access to the Indian market, India also wants more access to the Chinese market. China has been very opaque about it so far. We want that opacity to end. So will that dialogue lead to more, access for Indian goods in Chinese market, whether it's our agricultural products, that's an important part, whether it's our pharmaceuticals. You remember, and you know this better than most people, Anjali, India is the pharmacy to the world. The world wants our medicines. China has been resisting it. We want more access to the Chinese markets. Our medicines are smuggled into China, into various parts of China, and they do so well here. So why shouldn't it happen openly? That's the point India is putting across. At the same time, for our economy to grow, we need fertilizers from China. It's the closest way we can get it. It's the quickest way we can get it. We need that tunnel boring machine. When China didn't give it to us, some of our efforts, our infrastructure push was adversely impacted. So before we start manufacturing in India, we need to ensure that every tailwind that we get, we use it to reach where we hope to, where we aspire to reach, to be the third largest economy between 2027 and 2030. So that is why every relationship right now matters, not at the cost of compromising our national security and national interest. And that we've seen, whether it's with America or with China, India puts our national interest supreme.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, Gaurav, for, throwing light on these very important points. It is essential for India to keep its national interest in mind as well.